Hi everybody, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Today I'm in the 2013 Juke NISMO. This is the racing package. Some of the differences you can see are the red detail here. This gauge is red, the tachometer, these are in red. There's red stitching on the seats. Hopefully, there you go. Red stitching on those seats, this cool kind of velvet black interior I really like. And the seats are bucket racers. They're extremely comfortable for racing seats, so you don't have to worry about giving up that. Anyway, what I wanted to really talk about though is this stuff over here, because for the Juke, Nissan changed things. It used to be, in other cars, a lot of this stuff is on more buttons, so it's faster to access, but you have to know where the buttons are. In this one, I actually like this system better because it's a little bit, it's more compact, and most of the stuff that you don't use all the time is kind of hidden away, so you don't have to search around looking for what you do use all the time. So you'll see here we've got it set for driving mode, D mode here, and in normal driving mode it shows a torque curve. And then you can see you can set it for sport, which changes some of the things on your screen, or you can put it in eco mode, which changes more stuff. The only thing that stays normal you'll see is the starting. That's because the initial torque that you need to get the vehicle actually rolling, in eco mode they leave that, they don't hold that back. But once you get moving, you're about maybe 6 or 8 miles an hour, then eco mode comes in and limits what the gas pedal is doing in the engine. And you'll see here's your little echo gauge, so this goes up and down as you're doing better or worse on your echo, and then your overall trip is given a star rating up to 5 stars. In normal mode, everything works the way you normally would expect it to. You have this torque curve. This is your power usage, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Down at the bottom, this is your automatic climate setting, and that's the fan setting. You see I've got the fan pretty close to all the way up. I think that's about halfway actually. And I'll show you how to turn that off. Hopefully it's not interfering with the sound right now. This right here always changes the temperature no matter what mode you're in. So you'll see if I turn this, you'll see the little temperature goes up and back down. And then this knob is your selector knob. So while I'm in this, it doesn't really do anything. But when I go to, say, setup, I can flip through the menus. See that? And this is how you select. You push it to select. In driving mode, this is what you would use, or drive info, this is what you'll use. Like if you're in sport mode and you want to have it clock you for like 0 to 60 or total number of miles and average speed or whatever, you'll use this section and you use this to set that up. And then the echo chart will just show you all the time, anytime you want to look at it, how you're doing over time with your economical driving. To change the climate, you just push the climate button. You see I've got it up to here. This is the fan control. So now I can control the fan. See that? Turn it up and down. So I'll turn it all the way off, or all the way down. You see all of these changed and all of these changed. Now you've got like air conditioning on or off. You can turn all the climate off. You can set the different spots you want it to blow out of. These are always available, so you can have the outside air streaming in, and then if it's getting too cold, you can just switch it over so that it recircs. And then if you don't have anything else on, like climate is off right now, recirc just basically shuts off the exterior vents coming in, so you don't get any breeze from outside. And defrost, those are always available as well. So anytime you want to defrost, rear defrost is over here, and front defrost is over here. And you can push this at any time. So if you're back in driving mode, and let's say I'm in normal driving mode and I'm cruising along and I want the air conditioning on, it's getting a little hot, I don't have to hit climate or anything. All I have to do is push this. And now you see it's automatically set for my 60 degrees, which I can adjust however I want. And everything else comes on auto. So the air conditioner came on because it needs to cool the car down to get to that temperature. And the fan automatically turns up or down in fan speed in order to regulate that temperature. Normally what will happen, like with any automatic climate control, is the fan will be at fairly high speed until you get close to or at this temperature. Then the fan will drop down and just run in maintenance. So it'll be, just barely running. You'll hardly feel it, and it will just maintain the temperature inside the car. So that's how this works, and I really like it. I think it's a great setup because it's very intuitive, very simple, and it takes a lot of the controls that you're used to and moves a lot of the controls you're used to skipping over or turning a lot of knobs for or whatever. It takes a lot of those and puts them out of the way so that they can add these cool driving modes over here, so you don't have like a separate button like over here somewhere for that. And over here, all you have are your traction control on and off. If you want to turn that off, like if you're off-road, which I do a lot, and the all-wheel drive settings. So I have it in two-wheel drive right now for fuel efficiency. You can put it on the middle setting, which is two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive varied, so it just turns it on when it needs it. And the bottom is all-wheel drive force, so always all-wheel drive. In driving this, I've had it for almost a full week now, and in driving this, I have basically turned that off and flipped it down to all-wheel drive when I'm off-road. When I was you'll see some video of some of the rallying I did in this. And then I put it in two-wheel drive and turned the traction control back on for the rest of the time. The only time I would put it, I think, in the middle is if it gets raining or snowing or something, the weather's bad. So I could see driving in the winter, I would have this in the middle setting all the time. And whatever setting you're on will show up in here. So over here in the black area right there, it will show you what you're in. So like we're in all-wheel drive right now, so it doesn't show anything. Or we're in two-wheel drive right now, so it doesn't show anything. I flip it to all-wheel drive variant, and you see there it is. It pops up. Put it in all-wheel drive forced, and there you go. All-wheel drive comes up and back off. This little screen in the center here, that's fuel gauge, temperature gauge, etc., etc. You can change what's in the middle by just pushing this button here and scrolling through. That's my trip counter. I've put, you can see, almost 400 miles on this car in the last week. That's the odometer at the very top. You can swap that, so you can have like your current miles per gallon showing right there. And you can take some of the stuff that would show up here and put it here. So like when you're in sport mode and you have that clock on that I showed you, you can put that clock up here so you can have your little timer, so that you can be watching this as you're speeding, hauling up the ramp or something. You can watch this go up and see that go with it. See your time right here while your speed is moving up the gauge. Pretty cool. I haven't done a 0 to 60 in this because I just don't tend to do 0 to 60 times. I have my freeway on-ramp test. I use the same on-ramp on the freeway under as close to the same conditions as I can get all for every single car, and so that's what I do because I think it's more realistic. Most people do not power, they don't hit hardcore with their 0 to 60 times in real life. So the way I see it is how fast you can get up the on-ramp to get on the freeway is a lot more realistic measure of how fast the car goes. One thing I will say is that this, when you have it in sport mode, the CVT fakes shifting to give you that sporty feel. So it'll waver about 2,000 RPM between shifts. And it will do that for about, I think it's 6 gears. And then it stops doing it. In normal mode, it's a regular CVT like in any other Nissan, so you don't feel any shifting at all, which I very much prefer. And I actually got a faster speed in normal mode than I did in sport mode. In eco mode, it's the same as normal. It doesn't shift at all. You don't feel it shifting at all. It's just continuous. But anyway, so that's kind of a tour of sort of the interior layout from the driver's perspective, the cockpit. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. All these buttons, you can pretty much just tell what they do. So there you go. The 2013 Nissan Juke NISMO. Having a lot of fun in this car this week. All right, well, that's it. Talk to you again soon. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com.